Sorry for being gone for so long. This week's topic is domestic violence, so I'm going to start this video with a trigger warning. But today is also a Project for Awesome, so I'm specifically dedicating this video to an appeal to raise money for the Domestic Violence Intervention Project, a UK charity working to stop the cycle of domestic violence by working with perpetrators to address their actions as well as supporting the victims. Domestic abuse can take the form of physical, emotional, psychological, financial or sexual abuse within an intimate partner relationship. If someone is forced to alter their behaviour because they are frightened of their partner's reaction, then that is considered domestic abuse. Last year there were 2,174 reports of assault in England and Wales, with police receiving 3 calls every 2 minutes about domestic violence. 1 in 8 emergency calls made to the police relate to serious domestic violence incidents, rising to 1 in 5 in some areas. However, despite this, studies have shown that less than 40% of domestic violence crime is reported. Anyone can experience abuse, and anyone can be a perpetrator of abuse, regardless of gender or sexual orientation. And there needs to be a greater recognition of the realities of domestic abuse within LGBTQ relationships, and as well as abuse committed by women towards men. However, the vast majority of domestic abuse is experienced by women at the hands of men. 1 in 4 women will experience domestic violence in their lifetime, and 8 to 10% of women experience it annually. 2 women a week are killed by a violent partner or ex-partner, and nearly 40% of women homicide victims are as a result of domestic violence. Abuse committed by men against women also more commonly takes the form of ongoing violent or sexual abuse over a longer period of time, resulting in more severe injuries and lasting psychological and emotional damage to the victim. 44% of victims of domestic violence are involved in more than one incident, with incidents generally becoming more frequent and severe over time. This is a higher rate of repeat victimisation than for any other crime, and in cases with 4 or more incidents, 89% of the victims were women. In the past 3 years, there has been a 19% increase in reported incidents of domestic violence. But despite this, many organisations that provide vital services in supporting victims and preventing domestic abuse have seen their funding drastically cut. Between 2010-2011 and 2011-2012, 31% of government funding for violence against women's services in the UK was cut, with some services facing cuts of over 40%. 2/5 of organisations working with victims of sexual and domestic abuse have laid off staff in the last 12 months, while 28% have had to cut essential services such as outreach programmes and children's workers just to keep refuge beds open. In their 2011 annual report, Women's Aid, another charity who works against domestic violence in the UK, estimated that 230 women a day, almost 9% of those seeking a refuge, were being turned away due to lack of space, with support workers forced to suggest that these women spend the night in A&E, on night buses, or at the occupied camps that were running at the time. And preliminary numbers from Women's Aid's 2012 report suggest that this year an estimated 27,900 women were turned away by the first refuge they approached due to a lack of space. And smaller local and specialist support charities have been the hardest hit by the cuts, which is why we've chosen to dedicate this video to the DVIP instead of to one of the larger UK charities such as Refuge or Women's Aid. To make donating easy, we've set up a Just Giving page at justgiving.com/thosepeskydames P4A. And this also means that if you're a UK taxpayer, you can add gift aid to your donation and increase the amount that the DVIP will eventually get. We've set a target at £500. If only a third of our subscribers donate £1 each, then we can easily hit that target. So please, I know that money is really tight for everyone at the moment, and that you're probably donating to a lot of causes for P4A, but if you can donate even just 50p each to help in this vital work, then that would be hugely appreciated. I've also linked below to a number of other domestic violence charities in the UK, including those working specifically with male victims and with victims of violence within LGBTQ relationships and with BME women. So please, if you have the money, please also consider clicking on those links and donating to those charities too, because really they all need all the donations they can get. Other than that, happy P4A, and please donate, and don't forget to be awesome.